Hello folks, welcome to Mark and Kirsty banging on about Microsoft 365 and Teams. This is season 1, episode 3. And Kirsty, what are we talking about today?
OneNote.
Very good. Okay, so I think we should just get straight into it, Kirsty. I just want to remind the good folks that this season is just an introduction to each of the apps. So we're just going to tell you what OneNote is, not how you use all the parts of it. We'll cover that later in another season. Well, Kirsty, why don't you just quickly tell us what OneNote is?
Okay, so OneNote basically is a digital notebook. So I'm sure most of us have or still do it where we walk around with a paper notebook. And in this paper notebook has got all of your meeting notes. And if you're anything like me, at the beginning of the meeting, I'm sure, Mark, you're like this, the beginning of the meeting, your handwriting is really, really neat. And by the time the end of the meeting, I've got doodles and squirrels everywhere. And so by the time I finish that meeting, not only have I got those doodles and scrawls, when I start reading those meeting notes, let's say in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, I can't even read it. So the beauty with OneNote is it is a digital notebook. So everything that you can do in a paper notebook, you can still do, but you can do so much more. And I think, Mark, you're going to discuss a little bit more about how you divide it up. But just think that you can have and use a really good search facility. So if you're looking for a particular action that you've put in your digital notebook, you will be able to find it. So OneNote is just a digital notebook. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Okay, Kirsty, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I think what's really important is the way different people use it. For me, my big use is for meetings. I like to. I have a section for each type of meeting I go to, or each team that I'm working with, and then every single meeting I go to, I have a page for that. I can automatically pull in all the details of the meeting. It shows the invite, all the people that got invited. You can then make your notes. You can email that to even external people if you want to. Super easy. So, and you mentioned searching, Kirst. I have meetings that I had months and months and months ago, and I can find stuff in a blink. And we'll cover searching another time because searching is like a topic on its own. But about the layout, so people get one little thing I've seen people get confused about is just the structure of OneNote. And I know this is not a full-on training session, but very quickly here, look, we have these sections across the top, and how you divide those up, folks, is up to you. But just be aware that we have the sections at the top, and we have your pages down the side. You can create your pages down there, and then if you want to, you can even group those together, and then you have like your groups of sections. But just very quickly, just remember that's just a quick look at the structure. Kirsty, what other things do you use OneNote for?
Well, just want to go back to your section. So this is a perfect time of the year for your section groups, because I could have a separate notebook for 2022 and now a new book for 2023, but it's still the same notebook. Yeah. That's my hot tip. So what was the question you asked me, Mark?
Just what else do you see it used for? Like I think the most obvious one is meetings, isn't it? That's but I think there's two sides to it, aren't there? There's it can be used as a personal tool.
Yep.
But then a collaboration team tool as well. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, so I've got it where I've got a personal notebook, but there's part of that notebook that I want to share. So the beauty with OneNote, yes, you can have a personal notebook. Yes, you can have a shared notebook, but you can also just have a personal notebook and only share particular sections with particular people. And again, that's really, really handy.
Yes, I think you're right. And also, it's part of Microsoft 365. It's searchable, it's shareable. Okay, so I'm really being careful, Kirsty, not to go too deep, because I always like going into too much detail. And this is meant to be very much just an overview one. Is there anything else you would say before we start closing off, because this is just the introduction to it and what it is?
Yeah, so to me, I just think a lot of people probably poo-poo OneNote, thinking it's yet another application to use. But from all the people that I speak to with regard to OneNote, they're all adamant that this is a brilliant tool, and it's an extra tool maybe to other tools that you use, but it's definitely worth having a look at.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. There is a barrier to entry There is that initially you're looking at, you know what to do with it. There is that just that getting started with it. It is, you got to put the effort in, but I promise you it's worthwhile. I'm just having a look at some of the notes I've got over here. Some of the things that you can put in there. You can type your notes depending on your machine. You can use a digital pen. You can write in there. The other thing I really like it for, for screenshots. One of the things that we do, Kirsty, with the Inform team is Microsoft Teams and 365 adoption, and that needs measuring. And sometimes you capture the usage in a Microsoft team so fast. You can have the analytics screen up. Go to your OneNote for that team. You just click screen clipping. Like 1.5 seconds, you've got your screenshots and you can pull them in, and it shows you it shows the source for all that sort of stuff as well. That's
you mentioned, Mark, you mentioned the pen as well, which a lot of people are not aware of. That means you could go to a meeting with a tablet, write your notes on, and then you can convert all of your handwriting, and it will convert it straight to text for you.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. And there's maths in there as well.
Yes.
You can set it to auto pull stuff in. Maybe you go into a meeting, folks, and you don't want to print off a presentation or notes. You could digitally print a Word document or whatever sort of document to a page, and you can refresh it. So it's just like you're reading a piece of paper. There's so much you can do with it. And I think we'll cover all that in much more detail later.
Agree.
Anything else for the good people before we wrap up?
Nope. Nothing. I think we've mentioned it all.
Folks, thank you for watching and listening. If you are looking at this on YouTube, please subscribe. If it's a podcast, please subscribe in your podcatcher. But until next time, thank you for watching and listening.
Bye.